In the winter of 1950, the front lines in Germany have been stabilized, mostly through entrenchment, and we have distributed anti-tank guns to the frontline defensive divisions, but we've had trouble with some of the French tank divisions especially, and had to use the First Army just mostly to put out fires. We are still demobilizing some of our soldiers that are ready for deployment, and Poland is still close to an actual uprising, but we will start the next phase of the operation, and really the only way we can liberate Germany is if we can close off the Baltic first. We have the German Baltic coast under our control, despite the fact that the Germans are ardently refusing to actually secure their ports. And we are going to have to deal with things if necessary. We do have some elements of the First Army ready at the Danish border, currently just preparing for the incursion. And we've sent one of our operatives to Copenhagen. Vladimir Zaimov is checking in regularly to update us with things on the ground and building up his contacts. We're also still working on our intel network in France. As soon as we've got them high enough, we will start undermining the French war participation as much as we can. And then we will continue with our attempts of liberating Germany. But first, it has become clear, because the German area, defending the German area, given that we can't build fortifications, is relatively difficult. There's nothing else we can do at this point for the Soviets, because they just don't have the strength anymore to resist the Allied incursions, and especially that they're being assaulted by the Americans and by the British throughout the Asian lines as well. I think the Soviet Union is going to fall, but we will see if we can manage to close off the Baltic before that happens. That isn't going to stop the naval invasions instantly, but it is going to give us enough of a breathing room, because they can't resupply troops, that hopefully we can start pulling divisions off the coastline and thinning out our coastal guards at least somewhat, and use them to expand our push into Germany. But yeah, the Allies have largely, I hope, relocated from the Soviet front, but it still hasn't been enough. So, well, here we go, and we will observe again what happens. Right now the troops here are on the defense. They're just moving into position and planning their next assault. And we are still also waiting for reports from the lines. We have the occasional attack from weakened American divisions, which is a good sign to see that they're not operating at full strength. The Danish as well, obviously not, but even the Americans are no longer operating at full strength, so the losses must have gotten to them, especially that we keep sinking their convoys. So we will just keep an eye on the front lines, but mostly things have somewhat stabilized. Our troops have dug in, and the counterattack has been stopped, but at a great price. We used to hold almost the territory up to Hanover and Erfurt in the south, but we had to give up that territory, because there was just not enough we could do here. So right now we're waiting for the First Army divisions to plan their offensive, and then we will push. We will attempt potentially to run a push across the north, try to get north of the river, because if we can manage to control the northern parts and cut off the rest of the troops in the south, then that would help. We are bringing a marine division for that specific purpose. And we have some political power. We're slightly losing war support due to combat casualties. So I think no, we don't want nuclear weapons. That's something, by the way, that's going to come at some point, I believe, as well. I'm actually surprised it hasn't yet. But I'm just going to go and counter the combat casualties that we've been taking. And we'll wait for the First Army to try and get their plans under in order while defeating the incessant American counterattacks here, which I'm not actually that opposed to if they keep doing that. But the Allies have started bombing us in Novgorod again and taking out trains, but they're losing planes quite significantly on that. So I'm confident that our ground-based AA can deal with that without too much trouble. But I would like the First Army to at least be able to recover their organization, and if the Americans would stop these kind of assaults for a little bit, just so we can get ready for the counterattack, that would be much appreciated. So while that's ongoing, and there's a little lull in the fighting, let's have a brief look at our equipment situation. Yeah, we're still good on anti-tank, anti-air, and artillery and infantry equipment. I can send a little bit more. I can send a little bit more to the Germans. So let me just do that. Okay, I have sent them another 1,000 trucks, so hopefully that'll help with any kind of infrastructure and supply issues. And yeah, we're going to launch the attack through the north of Kiel here and try to cut off the American divisions at the center of Denmark, and then we'll wipe them out, hopefully, and then break through, take the rest of Denmark, and all the way up to Copenhagen, and then we'll see if we can link up with the north if there are no major naval invasions getting in the way, because as usual they're probably going to land near Stettin again. But hopefully the Germans, now that the frantic movement of troops has stopped a little bit, are going to be able to build up. So, yeah, they're starting to slowly build up some divisions. They've got 67 in total, and hopefully they can start. I've sent them some tanks as well. Hopefully they can start building up some tank divisions again. That would be great. And yeah, here we are just waiting for the planning to happen and for everything to be in good shape. And yeah, I think I'll skip ahead until we're ready to launch the invasion of Denmark, because it's not all that interesting to watch them throw themselves at our lines in the meantime. I mean, the Americans are taking losses every time they do that. They're taking about 1,000 losses of 1,000 men every time they are throwing themselves at us, and that is bleeding them dry over time as well. But for now, yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. One more thing, actually, I do have a supply hub planned here to get these troops supplied, but I think we're okay here. That can wait until later. I'm prioritizing the fortifications along the main lines. This line has been reinforced, so we do have German troops here now stationed, so things are looking a little bit more stable in this region. And the French attacks as well have sort of ceased, so we don't even know what we're fighting here anymore at this point, because we've lost all the intelligence. And there they come. Yeah, it's a bunch of British divisions. So who am I gonna send? I do have a tank division in Berlin that I can send over, and that hopefully is going to be enough to assist with that. I think we're reasonably stable here that I don't need to keep them there, so I just don't trust the Germans to hold the lines by themselves. But oh, that is a larger force, but these guys are. This is a bunch of French divisions. They are trying to land here. That's never going to get through, I think. So I think we're good here. That's just a bunch of French divisions trying to land. And we've got the Americans landing with 24 divisions here as well. So I'm immediately going to have to move divisions south to Helsinki to reinforce that. But okay, I think we'll be busy for a little bit with defeating naval invasions. And once I've dealt with that, I'll be back, and then we'll launch the Denmark assault. But yeah, for now, I think I will be busy with naval invasions for a little bit until that is all sorted. Yeah, we might as well just get some Just get some fighters in the air. Air superiority over Finland. Can't harm. And yeah, okay, I will be back once I've dealt with, I think the French invasion here is harmless. The British invasion over here, I'm sending some tank divisions over to deal with whatever's landing. And the American invasion here is gonna land probably about 8 divisions. And I'm sending some troops over to deal with that, so get you to a railroad over here. And then I'll be back. Okay, so that's dealt with. Took a slight bit longer than I thought because the Yugoslavians had actually ended up bringing some divisions in as well. So you move there, you move back here. You are moving north. You are moving over there. You are moving here, which means leaves me with 1 division that I'm not sure where I pulled it from. So I think I had 2 divisions over there. Let's get them over. Okay, yeah, the whole group of Yugoslavian divisions has joined as well. We are still not really getting anywhere with the troops here. I've got 2 tank divisions that are they're still in training, but kind of not sure I want to commit them on this attack. But maybe it's a good. I want to let them finish training if possible. The problem here is that we're constantly getting attacked, so my divisions just don't get to do what they want to do or what they're supposed to do. So there's another thing that we could possibly do. So while we are getting relatively close to start, I think if we started propaganda missions here now, what would that look like? That is, we're still relatively low on coverage, so I'm going to complete the Intel networks until we do that. But Spain is, well, it's not aligned technically, but we could see if we can change that. So one possible other vector will be to, and I think I might actually do that, because we could, instead of running propaganda in France, we could boost the fascist ideology in Spain, which we don't know much about Spain, but might give us an opportunity to invite them to the faction. So right now, if we tried that, they won't accept it because, well, first of all, mostly because they are non-aligned. So if we can get them to no longer be non-aligned, it's not that much of a push for General Franco. Maybe that is not a bad thing to do. Now, I think I will get my operative over to Madrid and start seeing if we can build a bit of an influence operation here. But yeah, this is never ending. So I think what we'll do here, except this division, is we will launch the we will launch the attack if we have the chance, trying to cut these divisions off, and we will see how that's going to end up working. Unfortunately, they are retreating north rather than south. So what are we facing here? Japanese divisions and an American division here. I just have to be careful that there are no further. Okay, that's just a little French incursion. We're dealing with it. That there are no further naval invasions that I need to deal with. And all these guys need to please take the trains to get back into their positions. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Offensive is go. And I think I've picked up somebody. Oh yeah, that's the Marine divisions. Okay, we picked up the Marines as well. We will see if we can manage to get through there. I had a fighter wing over. This fighter wing no longer needs to do that. They can go back to training. And I think I can get... Can I get another fighter wing going? Yes, we've got a couple of Typhoons, so let's get another fighter wing trained up. I would really love to start wearing down their fighters. It's just that we can't get to it just yet. And I don't know if we ever will, because it's just too many of them. But let's see if we can manage to break through here. It's just 2 Japanese divisions that are defending at this point. How's the enemy air force in this area? Yeah, way too many, and also too many. I think that's also starting to hamper our efforts as well. Too much ground support, and that's really starting to hurt, because while we have AA in our divisions, it might just not be enough to conduct offensive operations under enemy aerial superiority with ease. But instead, we might be facing a situation. That's this position again. We'll get them down there. So yeah, that's becoming an additional problem. But we will see. We will see what that looks like. For now, it looks like we may have been able to breach here. And we'll see if we can manage to cut them off. We will have to leave probably 2 divisions behind, however. So definitely the Marine Division we might need actually for the river crossing. I don't want to leave Kiel under German control, because one of the things is that whenever the Allies are doing naval invasions, Germany has to pull troops off, which is leading to weakened front lines, which then causes attacks across the whole front line. So you know, it's a vicious cycle. Anyway, they have reinforced, of course, so one of the Japanese mountain divisions has made its way in, but unfortunately we don't have much of a combat width. But I think this is plains, and we have a tank division operating here, and I think that is an actual tank division. So I'm surprised that they can. They can. What is the? I'm not sure what the piercing is of this division. Can I get that information? I can just get soft attack, but not the actual piercing, unfortunately. So I'm mildly surprised that they can pierce our tanks, but yeah, that is just the reality of modern warfare. Infantry is not to be underestimated, and oh, we've lost the position there. Okay, no, never mind. Don't counterattack. Just stay where you are. Just defend here. Is this all? Yeah, this should be all good. Yeah, just defend there. We don't need that back. That's fine. Everybody else is in good positions, and we continue the assault. I will leave a 2nd division here on the defense. The question is, can we cross? And I think we might have to defend first. Okay, let's defend first against the counterattack. And then we may actually have to let the Marine Division recover. I shouldn't have sent them in the initial assault, but instead send them as the second wave in order to take out the in order to force the river crossing. As it stands, they are a little bit exhausted. Where's my other Marine Division? Here, holding the lines, which is kind of necessary, because I don't trust the Germans to be able to... Oh, that's 3 German divisions. I think I'll risk it. I'll bring a 2nd Marine Division over, and we will see if they can manage to... Are you dealing with the British yet? The French there yet? Yes, you are. Slowly but surely. We'll bring another Marine Division over. We are being counterattacked by an American National Guard tank division. We should have that dealt with relatively soon. And then we will probably just have to rest here first, because my troops are exhausted from this attack, and I will shorten the front line to make sure that they stay where they are. So let's let them rest first. We've got 1 division in Kiel, and I'm sending the Marines in for another attempt, and then we will try to force the river crossing here. and see how many divisions we can encircle in the south. But yeah, we've been exhausted from this attack. Especially enemy air superiority is a big problem. But how many planes do we have at this point? We've got one. I can assign some. I can assign some aces. Actually, I had one that was. I have a couple that are unassigned, but that's for the wrong. These are for naval bombers, I think. So yeah, ground attack or naval bombers. So these are all the fighter aces I actually have. So at least we've got them all assigned. But I do have 7 fighter wings here, and I've got another fighter wing here. So let's bring them over to Berlin. And we're training up another here in the north, just where there's no opposition. But I think I will need. What are we facing right now? About 2,000. So I kind of need like 1,500. So 15 fighter wings in order to make this happen. And yeah, that's asking quite a bit. So the troops here unfortunately get time to redistribute, and I still don't really have enough information about Denmark in order to know how much opposition I'm actually facing, which is really annoying. But I do have 3 assault divisions here for the counterattack in the south. But these divisions need to recover a little bit before I'm going to attempt another attack here. Which unfortunately, because it's going to be a river crossing, so we do need to wait for the other marine division to arrive. That is still that last remaining French division we're dealing with. And we are... and I think I can get all air wings to train up again. Let's do that, just so they are fully trained. Yeah, we're waiting for the Marine Division to arrive, and then we will get the Marines to lead the river crossing, followed up or backed up by the actual assault divisions, and we will see if we can. We'll see if we can cross here and encircle the divisions in the south, cause them some damage, and then march further north into Denmark, which then we obviously have to defend again. So I may as well actually have to try and. How many more divisions do I have? I've cut like 7 more. Or 6 rather. So actually let's not do these. Let's do the ones with additional AA, because I think we're going to start having to field more AA. Let's do 6, 7. Actually let's do 6, because I get 1 extra from... Oh, actually... Never mind. Nurska is capable now of fielding 30 divisions. So yeah, give me a couple more, 10 or so. Okay. All right. Where's my Marine Division? Marine Division is moving into position, and once that has happened, have we cleaned up the French here? Yes, we have cleaned up the French here. Then we can get back to it. How's my submarines doing? You don't need to train anymore. You can move. Next submarine is training. How many? We could do a couple more dockyards. I could do like 4 more dockyards actually. I have the capacity, honestly. Let's put another dockyard here. That's too many. We just need 3 more there. That should have landed here. No, 3 please. There we go. Yeah, that can eventually land there. But yeah, we submarines working really well. But I do need to get my fortifications done first. Fortunately, it looks like we're almost done with that. And the Marines are still not in position. Yeah, so it looks like we're almost done with that. Let's get the Marines into position. 2nd Marine Division is... we are going to give them a front line here as well. Including that Marine Division. And they can also plan the offensive. There we go. So we're just waiting for that Marine Division to get there. The other lines are holding despite despite German attempts at, and I've upped our encryption, despite German attempts of sabotaging my efforts here. But it looks like all the lines are holding so far. Okay, I actually had to deal with a minor naval invasion, so that was a bit of a time jump, but at least it gives the troops some time to get into position. Also, while we're at it, I can, before we do this, I can hand out a couple of medals. Where are my citations? Here we go. So the Marine Division can definitely get, what am I going to give? 10% breakthrough or 5% attack? I think 5% attack is... Breakthrough is not going to be huge on a Marine Division anyway, so we're going to go with 5% attack. And we do have a couple of the... I would love a tank division that's actually gained a citation. That's a mechanized. That's the other Marine Division. Yeah, we might as well give them that as well. So far they have 10% breakthrough, so they also get some attack. And we are done. Okay. So let's begin the assault. We don't know what we're facing, but the idea here being that we're going to assault this position here, held by American and Swiss troops, or Danish troops. These are Danish troops, sorry. We'll lead with the Marines, and then we will reinforce with the assault divisions once the attack has begun. And we'll support for now with the armored divisions. Let's see if we can get through here. That's 9 divisions there, so across the river that's relatively difficult. And I guess we are getting counterattacked, so we have to drop the support and get 2 divisions. But yeah, we're not getting through that. We'll leave that instantly because the Marines are already getting exhausted. There's no way we're assaulting into 9 enemy divisions positioned there, especially not if we are under immediate counterattack. So instead we will try the next push northwards and see if we can break. We'll let the Marines recover, and then we'll try another push and see if we can get across in the north. And still, this is actually something we could possibly try to contest. We've got 800 fighters ready. I'm going to try and contest the air for the next assault. We'll see how that goes. So we should be able to get 800 fighters. I've got 8 fighter wings. Why am I only having 7 in the air? All 8 of you to northern Germany. There we go. We're still outnumbered 2 to 1, but unless they are, as long as they're not putting massive amounts of fighters out, we will see how the air situation develops. But yeah, they are instantly counterattacking us here. So we might have a try. This would be the better position to take, but that is very heavily fortified. We might have a try in this position instead and see how that's going to look like. We're still slowly building up the intel network here. How's that looking? Yeah, Spain, we're slowly building up. We've got a couple more, and we have another naval invasion. We've got a couple more fascist state actually that we can start improving our relations with and see if we can if we can't convince them to join. So who's having a relatively good, who'd be good? I'm kind of thinking South America might be interesting, because that would certainly disturb the Americans quite a bit. Venezuela, what do we know about Venezuela? 47 divisions. I don't even know what that is. Peru has 72, bigger. And we've still also got El Salvador and the Dominican Republic, but Peru might be a good start. So let's see if we can improve our relations with Peru. and see how that's going to go. And I am actually, I don't think I have any more national focuses to look into. So I'm going to switch back to construction engineering. There we go. So let's improve our relationships with Peru and see if we can't convince them to join us and cause a bit more havoc. And yeah, by the way, the Soviet Union is collapsing. There's no matter what we do, they are going to collapse, and there's not an awful lot I think that we can do about this. There's literally too many Allied divisions that they're not going to be able to defend against. So not an awful lot we can do, unfortunately, that is. This is as an American tank division here as well. That might be sitting in the north, but they're all attacking across the river. So it'd be lovely if I could use the makeshift bridges. Unfortunately, we don't have that skill. So for now, we're just going to once again defend here and prepare for another assault and see how that's going to go. How is the air situation? 1800 at this point. How are we trading? Kind of not as good as I had hoped. Our planes are better than their planes. But that said, we don't really have the mission efficiency, or the air detection especially is very bad in this area. So yeah. We'll put it down again. Too much, still too much. I need at least 1,000 or 1,200 planes in the air. Can I get another wing training? No, I have one training, don't I? Yeah, I've got one training here, so nope, can't get another one up. And we will wait for that to abate. And then we'll wait for our divisions to recover some of their strength while these guys are consistently attacking us. But I don't think they actually have an awful lot of strength back here anymore. That's an assault from the north, but just a single American infantry division, so that's not going to do an awful lot. But I do need my my organization back, and if they keep attacking like this, that is weakening them and is costing them well, you know, 1,000 men here, 1,000 men there, but they get replenished, and I don't get to get my organization back up. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. And yes, we are. I think yeah, it's Yugoslavians. It's the Yugoslavians today. It's usually the French. But I think the French are starting to, especially with their tank divisions, starting to run a bit low on equipment, which is good and very much appreciated. So, well, we'll see if we'll see once we've gotten this as high as it goes, and I think we can get up to what is it, 70% or similar? Come on, show me. Sometimes the tooltips don't want, but I think I can get it up to like 70% or so, and then we'll switch to causing some trouble for the French, and that'll be good. But yeah, we're already mostly facing Allied divisions here in the north. Very unfortunately, once the Soviets capitulate, they'll be in a bad position, because the Allies are going to call them in on their side. Presumably, but like I said, there's absolutely nothing I can do anymore about this. Poland's already capitulated. I can't capitulate them again, and yeah, as long as the Americans do this, I'm all for it. But I do need my organization back here to try and launch another attack in the north. Really, don't really have. Yeah, and it's hard to regain it if you're under constant Allied assault here. That's the unfortunate bit. But we'll let them regain their arc, and then we'll try that again. How fast is our? Where did I try this? Peru? Was it Peru? Who am I improving my relations with? Yes, them. They are plus 30. I think we can probably still get a bit higher. And the big question is, are we going to convince them? Are we going to get it high enough that we can convince them to join, despite the fact that they'll be drawn into a war? It's worth a try, and we'll see if it works out. It's another naval invasion just in the north. Now there's just some Turkish divisions trying to land here somewhere. We'll deal with those if they do land. That's not a massive problem. The bigger problem I have is that my divisions here can't rest. So I might actually pull the Marines back to Kiel, as well as the. We'll leave 3 divisions here. We'll pull the rest back to Kiel. I can't because I'm constantly getting attacked. So just so they can recover, because if they're consistently on the defense, then they don't get to recover. And that's due to the incessant assaults here. I do also need my... let's move the railway gun north to Kiel as well. And then we'll try again to get everybody except for the 3 assault divisions here that are dug in to retreat towards Kiel. And we'll see. We'll see if we can get them to regain some organization. And then where did these Turkish divisions go? Oh, there's a fair amount of them here. Gonna move 1 division over from here and 1 over from there, because I already know that they're gonna land here. So we'll clean that up after that's happened. But yeah, I'll be back once I've reorganized the front line here, and we're ready for another attempt at assaulting Denmark. How much longer until these tank divisions are trained? They're relative January. It's not long anymore. So once they're trained, I can bring them in here as well, and we'll see if we can make it across. And yeah, as you can see, this is not particularly effective. Anyway, I'll be back once we have that sorted. Okay, we are not getting anywhere here. So what I'll do instead is I will use the assault forces here and try to push on the southern line of the river, and see if we can manage to. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of them. Okay, never mind. I think we are at a massive choke point at this stage, where the Allies have just put so many divisions here that there's just absolutely no way for us to break through that. And that was just 19 divisions sitting on that position. That explains why they are cycle charging us here. So pretty much all we can do at this stage is try to dig in, and we're not getting through here. There's most definitely not a position to get through here. Can I? I don't think this is a possibility to attack here. Let me just check that. So if we were to put the, we'll find out. Can I put? No, I can't get across here from Rostock. The only way past them is through here. And while that would be a massive encirclement, the problem is there's so many of them. We're not getting through that. Okay, we are going to need to wait until we have enough. Who's owning this territory, actually, at the moment? Because I am not sure... Is it the... I'm not sure what color that is. It's not Denmark. So I'm not entirely certain. That's probably why my operative in Denmark isn't really getting anywhere. But I don't really have an option to figure out who the owner of this is. I'm not sure what color that actually is. Is this a separate? There's nothing separate, is it? It says that it's controlled by Germany, which is obviously untrue, because Germany is not controlling this. It seems to be Denmark. Okay, so I am in the right place. All right. In this case, we'll just have to wait We'll just have to wait until we have some more intelligence, and then we will attempt to figure out a way to break through that stalemate there. Meanwhile, yes, oh, someone's landed again. Who's that? The British? A British division. Yeah, we'll deal with that. Yeah, we'll try. I mean, we can always relocate to the north and try to make a breakthrough there. I was just kind of hoping that we could manage to get through Germany here, but it appears that Denmark has been turned into a massive battlefield, and that we're just literally not making any headway here against enemy positions, and that we are just being consistently attacked. And we're also not having a chance to break their aerial superiority just yet. We are taking too many losses here, and it takes us too long to replenish those losses because we don't have any. Oh, and we have a naval invasion of a full American army group once again in Poland. So, all right, yeah, pretty much a stalemate at this point. We can't move out. They can't really move in just yet, but we can't also move out. I'm gonna deal with the naval invasion off screen. I'm probably gonna pull the troops from here because there's just really no good way to break this. It's just way too many divisions here, and it's not a good territory. I need some intel first to know what I'm actually fighting, and then yeah, we'll try to come up with a new plan. Maybe I'll relocate part of the First Army north, and we'll try to make a break here and finish off Sweden, and try to get across through Copenhagen. But I think if they're stationed 25 divisions here, then there's no way we're going to get across here either. So we'll see. But Denmark is definitely a difficult nut to crack, and yeah. That's the only way through, pretty much. So interesting. Actually, what's the supply? Last thing I'm going to check here. Okay, they have a supply hub here, so they are definitely supplied, no matter what we do, because they have supply hubs here that we can't easily cut off. So yeah, we're not going to get them out of supply. We're not going to naval land. We may be able to. I'm not sure. I don't think we can get aerial superiority to land anybody from the sky either. So yeah, I might bring in 2 new tank divisions. In fact, I think I am going to bring in the 2 new tank divisions here. 2 panzer divisions. Yes, I know they're not fully trained, but I will assign them to the 1st, which means the 1st will have to cede one of their secondary divisions. There we go, and you can just have your own little fallback line here, you there. Okay, that works. First has 2 more tank divisions now, and it's these 2. And you are instantly going to be needed here to deal with the American incursion. So we'll get them south here, because there's a lot of American troops going to be, and I am going to have to pull off at least that tank division and that assault division. The rest should be able to hold that for now, but we'll get them railroaded to... Oh, they're in combat. I can't even get them out of combat. So, do I have anybody else in reserve? I've got tank division in Berlin. Let's railroad that to Köslin. And other than that, I don't think I can spare anybody. There are a couple of German divisions here that are holding. I might be able to spare that armored division here. They're probably the closest. So I'm going to get them already up towards Danzig, and then we'll see. We'll see what we can do. The Germans may be able to hold here for a little bit, but these port guard divisions are not going to be able to hold out. So we're going to have to push them back, which means the Germans are going to move off their front lines. And I am going to try and extract at least these 2 divisions and see if I can get them to move over to Köslin as well. Okay. I'll deal with that between episodes, and then yeah, we'll think about scratching heads and think about what we can do about the Denmark situation. I definitely need more intel to know what I'm fighting, because right now I'm flying blind here, so I don't know what I'm attacking into. So right now we'll keep defending. The Soviet case is lost. There's nothing we can do to. There's nothing really we can do to defeat these massed Allied troops here on the borderlines. Or what we can do to assist the Soviets in any way. There's this, wherever you look, there's too much Allied. There are too many Allied forces, and yeah, there's nothing we can do to help the Soviets at this stage. The only thing we can do here is hold out. We don't have the troops on the lines. The only thing we can do here is hold out, increase our fortifications. One big problem we're going to have if the Soviets break apart or join the Allies is that they can naval invade here. So we're going to have to start fortifying these positions. But it's not too bad. I don't think anyone has attacked us here in ages. So in fact, I'm actually thinking to you know already what's going to happen. They are going to immediately start naval invading me here the moment I'm pulling these troops off. But I'll move them over for now, just to have a little bit of a defense. I don't think there's a port here on the flank. No, they wouldn't invade if there's no port. So that's sort of the tricky area. Anyway. Yeah, I'll deal with the naval invasion between episodes. The losses that the Allies are taking are colossal. I mean, they're really ticking up here. But they have so many troops stationed here that it's going to be really hard for us to break through. I need the intel up first, and we'll see if we can mess with the French a bit once we've reached 70% of network strength, because I think that's all we can get, and then. Does it tell me? No, it still doesn't tell me. And yeah, we'll try to influence the Spanish as well, and in general see what we can get ourselves up to. Last thing I'm going to check, Peru has anything. So Peruvian is 80%. Not sure how much further we can push this, but I don't think we can push them far enough. No, even if they are. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. So stop improving relations, not going to help. I am not sure if we're going to be able to convince Spain, because their reluctance is even worse than ours. So I don't think so. I don't think that we can convince them to join. But well, at least if we can make sure that we turn them from non-aligned into fascist, then well, we have already one goal achieved. And in the meantime, we'll refocus our efforts of trying to mess with the French and see what we can get done. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.